Hey guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. It's good to see you again. It's Kevin here. I've got a Goose Creek candle haul for you. And this is probably considered more of a cumulative haul. There's a lot of candles here that I've been hauling. Just haven't really been talking about them on my channel very much this spring. And one thing I will say though, Goose Creek has been at the very top for spring candles for me, which is actually really surprising because they've never been my go-to candle company for the spring months. It's usually been Homeworks, and then occasionally I'd maybe have the random straddler from like Bath & Body Works or Yankee Candle, something like that. But I tell you what, Goose Creek has done a really solid job this spring, for my tastes at least. You know, and there's just not a lot of people here on YouTube hauling Goose Creek spring candles. Of course, you've got the guy that works for them now that will occasionally throw them a bone because of that, and will haul them here on YouTube. And then you've got myself and a couple of other people that kind of haul them regularly. And other than that, it's just not a lot of talk about Goose Creek. So you probably got more people focusing on the PR candle companies, and that's understandable. Free candles are always nice, but when it comes to Goose Creek, I mean, they have the best sales in the business, really, when you think about it. I think both of these hauls are the 6 for $60 hauls. So that's $10 a candle. You honestly can't beat that. That's a really solid price. And then when you throw in the fact that Goose Creek is regularly right up there with Bath & Body Works, for me at least, on throw. They are very consistent with their throw, right up there with Bath & Body Works. I'd say Bath & Body Works is normally a notch above them, especially for the fall months and going through with the holiday candles as well. But this spring, Bath & Body Works and Goose Creek have been neck and neck as far as throw goes. I won't get into the issues that they both have. We know about them, you know, getting to the halfway point and soot and that kind of stuff. But when we're talking throw, I can usually guarantee that Bath & Body Works and Goose Creek are going to fight it out for the top spot in my list. And then, of course, you've got Homeworks and Kringle kind of fighting it out with Yankee Candle for the weakest candles that we have. But Goose Creek has been very solid for me. I'm going to get into this haul real quick. It's kind of just a hodgepodge here of things. If you know my tastes and our tastes match up, then you're probably going to like a lot of the things that I like. Now, let's start off with this one real quick because it was a candle that arrived broken for me, completely shattered. I didn't even ask for a replacement. It didn't really inspire me to ask for one. It's their Sweet Tiramisu candle. And right down to the name and the fragrance itself, it is a direct repackage, to be honest, of Bath & Body Works Sweet Tiramisu. So it's the same thing. It kind of smells like a chocolate Oreo cookie with a little bit of coffee. And I'm talking a little bit of coffee here. It's more focusing on kind of the chocolate and the gourmand aspect of it. If you've ever had Oreo's tiramisu cookie, then that's pretty much what you're getting right here. I was kind of hoping that it would maybe be close to Bath & Body Works' version of the same candle, and hopefully just kind of altered a little bit or a variation of that. But no, it's the same exact thing. So if I ever feel like I'm in the mood for this fragrance, then I'll just kind of take chunks out of it. And I don't mean the chunks of glass out of it, but yeah, those will be removed too. That's Sweet Tiramisu. Just know, if you're a fan of that style of fragrance, that's exactly what you're getting, is you're getting Bath & Body Works' version of that from Goose Creek. Okay, I know that's starting off on a bad note, but let's get into some really good stuff that they've had here. And I've talked about this one already on my channel. I've gushed about it. It is green seagrass, and I've burned this candle a couple of times. I actually went back for seconds on this one. It was so good. Here's the second one. So I have two. I may even go back for thirds on that one, which, I mean, that's unprecedented, really, when we're talking spring candles at least. This right here, I would have to call this the best green grass fragrance that I've smelled since Yankee Candle's green grass, and it throws really well. The first burn took a little bit to get off the ground, but since then it has thrown really well. Yeah, like I said, the best green grass fragrance since Yankee Candle's green grass that I've smelled, at least in candle form. That was a repurchase for me, so immediately you know that I love it. Here's another repurchase for me, and this one is Drenched Daffodils, and I purchased that one again. Let's see if I can find it. Is it? Yeah, that's it. There it is. There's a second one, Drenched Daffodils. Now this is the daffodil candle that you want to own. Now this one right here, Sun-Kissed Daffodils, I'd say this focuses more on the citrus about the candle, but it's nothing to sneeze at. Sun-Kissed Daffodils is a really good one as well. That one is in the Peter Rabbit collection, but I would actually recommend, if you're a fan of daffodils, to give their Drenched Daffodils candle a try. Expect to see this one in my best spring candles for 2024. I'll have that video coming up in the next week or so. And then another great one was this one right here, Southern Gardens. Now I have not burned this yet, so I use great loosely. Just on first impressions, it is really nice. Now, this is a fragrance that we've seen many times done by many different candle companies. It seems like every candle company has this style of floral. Notes are white lotus, hyacinth, violet leaf, and oak moss. Now, when I say that, there's another candle that I've talked about this spring from Kringle called Botanicals that does that exact same style of fragrance. And I loved this one. This was a little bit lighter than I would have liked while burning. I'm thinking that Southern Gardens is probably going to be a really good thrower though. I compared the Botanicals candle. It's basically Kringle's version of Dune Grass from Yankee Candle. So, and I've always said that Dune Grass from Yankee Candle is essentially Bath & Body Works beach grass. I think that dates back all the way to Slatkin & Co. So I think beach grass was a Slatkin & Co. fragrance by Harry Slatkin. And he did his own interpretation of that with Homeworks. And it was this one right here. It was Lotus Flower. And also you can kind of see how these candles all kind of match up a little bit. Lotus Flower has the notes of bamboo and lotus flower and hyacinth. So we're talking about very similar notes here. I mentioned that Botanicals was one that the floral note was hyacinth that really stood out to me. Of course, Southern Gardens also has the note of white lotus and hyacinth in it. So they're all really kind of doing the same thing, just each candle company's own version of that fragrance. So needless to say, I am really looking forward to burning this Southern Gardens fragrance. The next one that we're going to talk about, let me kind of get some order here. This one right here, Butterfly Garden. I love this fragrance on cold. Pink apple, sweet petals, jasmine, coconut milk. Now, for me, this is exactly what this candle right here should have been. This one right here called Apple Blossoms. Now, I've already burned it a couple of times. It was not pleasant burning this one. Okay, you really smell the apple, but you also get a really noticeable masculine woodsiness in this, which I'm just trying to figure out why they added that really kind of cologne woodsiness in this. It really does take over the fragrance, and I'm not a huge fan of cologne in home fragrance. That's what it smells like, an apple personal fragrance, like a men's, specifically a men's personal fragrance. I was not a big fan of this one. I've got quite a bit left of it. I'm not gonna burn any more of it. I think it's probably just gonna go straight in the trash. But this one right here, Butterfly Garden, is exactly what that should have been. This, to me, smells like kind of a nice, delicate, soft apple blossom fragrance. So you've got the note of apple, which does stand out here, but it does not have that woodsiness at all. That does not have that masculine cologniness at all that Apple Blossoms has. It's just kind of got that sweet, kind of soft, delicate floral vibe to it, but certainly apple here, Butterfly Garden, I love that one on cold. The next one that we're gonna talk about is this one right here. Another just kind of copy of Bath & Body Works candle of the same fragrance, really. This is Key Lime Cake Pop. So it's essentially Bath & Body Works Key Lime Pie fragrance. I mean, there's not really any changes here. Very similar also to Homeworks' version of this same fragrance, Key Lime Pie. I think Homeworks probably has a little bit more bakery going on in theirs. It's really negligible though. This throws really well. I've already burned it at least once and it's done really well. It's just what we've already come to know as a Key Lime Pie from Bath & Body Works, but I still like a really good Key Lime Pie fragrance during the summer months, so I will get a lot of use out of this one as we move into May here coming up soon. It's gonna be May. So, okay, let's go from that. So let's transition real quick after that embarrassment. This one right here, Honey Wildflower, I knew I was taking a chance with this one. Now, okay, it does not smell pleasant on cold. I will say one thing about this. This is the only one of these that I've seen with this issue so far this spring with Goose Creek, but I noticed this a lot last fall. And it has almost like a cardboard smell to the wax. I'm not really sure what's doing that here. Almost kind of smells like a woodsiness, but it doesn't smell like part of the candle. It doesn't smell like part of the actual fragrance though. So I'm not sure what's doing that. It's actually ruined a couple of fragrances last fall for me from Goose Creek. Whatever's doing that, I don't know if it's the seal here that's creating that. I don't know if it's in the factory during the pours. There was a fragrance that I loved from Goose Creek last year that was one of my all-time favorites from them, that it ended up destroying the fragrance, not even on cold, but while burning as well. There was that black licorice cupcake fragrance that it ended up really smelling like woods, just something that felt like it was part of maybe the lid or the pouring process or something that didn't have anything to do with the actual notes involved in the fragrance. There was their version of Leaves too last year when I noticed that it really smelled like that on cold with that candle. And unfortunately, it also transitioned over to while it was burning as well. So I tried it out in the wax melts though, in that same fragrance, and it didn't affect the fragrance at all in the wax melts. So it's something to do with the candles. Let's see, I'll burn this one this year. I can't really get a feel for how the fragrance smells, to be honest. It says honey, blooms, and vanilla. I mean, if that's all I got here on cold with this fragrance, that'd be wonderful. But it's that kind of annoying cardboard smell that just does not belong. And I've smelled it in numerous other candles from Goose Creek. Whatever that is, if we can get that fixed, Goose Creek, that would be really good. Okay, let's kind of transition from that to this one right here, Bakhouse Croissant. Kind of what I expected. This type of fragrance has never usually been something that I've really, just kind of gravitated towards or just longed for, something like that. Like French Baguette from Bath & Body Works. I've never really been a huge fan of that fragrance. That usually goes well whenever I'm burning it with another candle. Something to use as like a combo fragrance, a mixer, if you will. This almost smells like corn chips to me. It's got a little bit of a saltiness to it, kind of like saltine crackers. I don't know what that is really. I mean, it says that it has warm sugar and nutmeg in it. It also even says melted butter, but I don't really get a strong butteriness here on cold. I don't get anything sweet either. It's actually a very unsweetened bread smell to it. Probably even a tad bit salty and savory. So we'll see where that one takes me. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that style of fragrance anyway, but I did want to at least try it out. This one right here from the Peter Rabbit collection, Pink Peonies. I've burned this one a couple of times. It's thrown really well. I actually really love this fragrance. Now, a lot of times with peony fragrances and home fragrance, They try to match up with the smell of a rose, which I don't know how much that really matches the authentic peony smell. I've never really felt like a peony has a huge, strong aroma in the wild. So this one though ends up smelling very green, very kind of watery. It goes in a different route than say, you know, your typical rose fragrance. So I really did appreciate that they went that way with it instead of making it smell like a little bit of another version of a rose. So, and I've burned that one a couple times. It's done really well. This one right here was recommended to me. Limoncello Cupcake. I melted that, or I want to say I burned that lemon butter cake candle. I also have it in the room spray, which was not amazing. I think I liked it better in the candle. This one definitely is not as buttery as the lemon butter cake. It is more tart on cold. It definitely has that creaminess. Kind of reminds me of that fragrance from Scentsy. The name of it escapes me, but it smells very similar to that one. Not too different from a lot of the other kind of lemon bakery fragrances that I've tried this spring. Let me kind of do a rundown here of everything I've got and make sure I talked about everything. Oh, yes, this was not good. Marrakesh Mint, I think that's how you say that one. I let this one burn to try to give it a little bit of a chance, and it just was not working for me. I was hoping it was a fresh mint. It says Marrakesh Mint, Bergamot, Jasmine, and Musk. And I was even hoping it was a mint tea fragrance, which that's what it's mentioned as being on the website. But there was nothing that came across as tea with this one. Nothing that really came across as a fresh mint. Even the florals here, jasmine, no, not much of floral either. I just don't know what to think about this one. It was kind of a sweeter mint for me. It smelled like a peppermint to some degree. And even at times it smelled like it was burning a Christmas candle. So that one did not work for me. The next one, this one right here, Rose Petal Icing. If you're thinking this is probably something similar to Pink Petal Tea Cake from Bath & Body Works, yeah, to a degree. I'm getting more of like a rose water, so like a lemony rose here. Or even smells like grapefruit. I don't think the notes are on this one. No, Rose Petal Icing, but it does have a creaminess. So in that aspect, it is similar to Pink Petal Tea Cake from Bath & Body Works. If you're looking for that one, something similar to it, this one has a little bit of that vibe going. Okay, and that is it. I've checked everything I have here. That's all. Oh, I did get this right here, the Cotton Candy Hand Soap. Yeah, not cotton candy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it lists blue raspberry, strawberry, and pink berries. Really, this just smells like a generic berry fragrance. It does not at all remind me of cotton candy. Similar in that aspect to the candle, which I don't think smells like cotton candy at all. Not the cotton candy that at least I'm used to smelling from the State Fair or something like that, a very warmed sponge sugar fragrance. No, it smells like berries to me. So that wasn't great at all, but I've been enjoying it. Just a berry fragrance for the summer months for washing up and that kind of stuff. But there you guys have it. That is my Goose Creek cumulative spring haul. Expect to see a few of these fragrances in my top spring fragrances for 2024. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.